الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين.
So today we're going to be looking at Surah Al-Kafirun. Now it is said that the Prophet ﷺ used to always or very commonly pair this surah with Surah Al-Ikhlas, Qul Huwallahu Ahad. It is said that often he would pair the two in Salat al-Fajr. For example, in the first rak'ah he would read Surah Al-Kafirun, and then in the next rak'ah he would read Qul Huwallahu Ahad. One of these surahs is a rejection of shirk and the other one is an affirmation of faith. So how did this surah come about? It is said that when the Prophet ﷺ started inviting people to the message of Islam, the disbelievers tried different tactics to try to stop him from spreading this message. They tried threatening him, it didn't work. They tried bribing him with money, with power, with authority and different things, it didn't work. He was firm on his message and he didn't waver. And then they came up with an idea that they proposed to the Prophet ﷺ. They said, hey, how about this? How about for 1 year, you worship what we worship, as in the idols, and then the next year, we will all worship what you worship, as in Allah. And then the following year, we all come back to the idols, and then the year after that, Allah, and so on. So we keep alternating, then we get a bit of both. And then this surah came down, basically stating that there's a clear distinction between the two and there is no compromise. So let's take a look at the surah.
Bismillaahir Rahmaanir Raheem. قل يا أيها الكافرون.
Okay, so the first word is قل, say. So it's instructing the Messenger ﷺ to say this. yaaa-ayyuhal kaafiroon, O disbelievers. Now, sometimes we see in the Quran, it says, الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, the ones who disbelieved, in past tense. Here it says, al-kafirun, disbelievers, noun, no present tense, future tense, past tense, nothing, al-kafirun. Here we learn something. These people will never believe in the message. They never believed and they will never believe. This group of people that proposed this idea or suggestion to the Prophet will never believe. And that's what happened. This group never believed. Now, in Arabic, or in English, we commonly translate al-kafirun to mean disbelievers. But kafirun covers more than that. This word kufr is not just rejection of faith, but it's rejection also of Allah's favors. So we say, for example, in Arabic, kufran and ni'mah, rejection of ni'mah. So these people have rejected all the blessings and ni'am that Allah has given to them and are ungrateful towards it and therefore have rejected His favors. So it also covers this.
لا أعبد ما تعبدون.
Okay, so this ayah says, I do not worship what you worship. So I presently or currently don't worship what you worship. And we'll leave it at that. We'll come back and explain a little bit more a little later on. So let's look at the next ayah.
ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد.
Okay, so this ayah says, and you aren't worshippers of which I worship. Now, there's an important distinction here. The ayah doesn't say, you don't believe in what I believe. Now these people, as strange as it might sound, actually did believe in Allah and did believe that He created things. but they still worshipped the idols because they thought that the idols would somehow become intercessors for them in front of Allah. And that's why this ayah here talks about what they worshipped and not necessarily what they believed. So there's a clear distinction here. Let's take a look at the next ayah.
ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم.
Okay, so this ayah says, and I'm not a worshipper of what you worshipped. So the Prophet ﷺ never worshipped what they worshipped. Even before the message of Islam came down, he didn't believe in or perform in the actions that they performed in. He was always seeking. So this is a point to this is clarifying now that the Prophet ﷺ never ever worshipped what these people worshipped.
ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد.
Okay, so now we are seeing an ayah being repeated. So again, it's saying, and you aren't worshippers of which I worship. Now, there are different interpretations for why this ayah is repeated. Some say that this ayah is repeated just to strengthen and confirm and really emphasize the point. There's another opinion that says the first one is meaning for today, the second one is repeated meaning for the future. So you know how they proposed this year we worship what you worship and the other year we worship. So this is talking about this year and then talking about the following year and so on. So distinguishing that. And then there's another opinion that the first one is talking about what they worship, meaning they are worshipping the idols and I don't worship that. And the second one meaning their action, the way they perform their worship. So we don't worship in the same way either. So those are the different interpretations that are common for this ayah.
لكم دينكم ولي دين.
And we come to the final ayah. Now this ayah is commonly translated as you have your religion and I have mine. But the word deen doesn't necessarily always mean religion. The word deen is also used to mean hisab or jaza, like your reward or your consequence. For example, we see in Surah Al-Fatiha the ayah that says Maliki Yawm ad-Din. Yawm ad-Din doesn't mean the day of deen, meaning the day of religion. No, it means the day of recompense, right? The day that you'll be compensated for your action. So this word deen is also used to mean recompense. So this is how this ayah is translated, that it doesn't just mean you have your religion, I have mine. It's more of a warning. You will have your compensation for the choices that you've made, and I will have my compensation for the choices that I've made. So it's much deeper than just saying you have your religion and I have mine. It's deeper meaning.